Right after World War II, many suburban types homes started popping up in places all around America. According to Henrietta, right around this time, the definition of good life to Americans changed to a high value on consumption, a devotion to family and domesticity, and preference for suburban living. For this project, the three different primary sources I chose to look at are a photograph of a suburban neighborhood, a cartoon from the 50s, and an advertisement from this suburban era. These primary sources were all received from the Digital Public Library of America. This first image is what I decided to base my research off of. As you can see, this is one of the thousands of suburban neighborhoods that popped up here in the United States. This was one of the first ones in Levittown, Pennsylvania, put together by William J. Levitt. You can see how these suburban homes are similar in shape, size, and the style of the home. This was a common trade during the Suburbia area because of the quick business that was coming to each town and how quickly these homes needed to be built. Levitt figured out mass production to develop four-room homes for low prices. According to Henrietta, this migration to the suburbs was the largest it had ever been in hundreds of years. After the 50s, farmland was filled with suburban homes, shopping malls, and 1/3 of Americans lived in a suburb. This second source is from the Federal Housing Administration. This was an advertisement put out by the FHA to show that only a small amount of money is needed to purchase a brand new home. This government-based administration was another organization that helped make suburbia happen. The FHA helped to bring down mortgages to allow middle-class families to purchase a suburban home. These families would move into these suburban homes at low cost and with all the appliances needed for a home. These communities were also homogeneous, according to Henrietta, and that leads us to our last source. This third source is a cartoon from this era. This is depicting a black man wanting to buy a home in a suburban neighborhood. This cartoon is helping to depict how all these Levitt neighborhoods were only allowing those of the Caucasian race. This company had rules in place for the race of their homeowners and had rules for the homeowners on keeping their lawns clean and not hanging out laundry out on the weekends. Racial discrimination in housing was not illegal at this time, but Congress passed the Fair Housing Act in 1968 that finally prohibited this. These three sources show some of the large parts of how quickly suburbia was built, why it was built, and the problems that seeped in between it. Today, suburban neighborhoods still exist, but they are completely different from when they first started.